Hi everyone. I have received a question about the type of Visio diagram that you will need to create the logical model, or the conceptual as well as the logical model, which we can call it also entity relationship diagram. So there are several ways that we can create it. So let's see here. So all of you have access to Visio by now, and as you can see here, there are several types of diagrams that can be created in Visio, but we are interested in the software one. So we'll select software, so looking, starting a new, and then go and clicking on software where it says suggested searches. So when I select software, it brings up several types of diagrams that I will need, that I can have access to. So there are two options that we can use. The most commonly ones that are used nowadays are the Uml Class diagrams, which is this one. The other option is the one that we have seen in some instances in class, is the cross food database notations. So I will let you decide for yourself which one you wanna use. Usually the cross food, both of them actually can do the same purpose. But let's start with this Uml class. When I click on Uml class, then I will have to create. And then when I create, you can just, so every entity will be a class. So I will just drag that entity, double click on it, on the title, and then I can just call it patient demographics. Those are just demos, so that means it is not inclusive. It doesn't conclusive, that it doesn't have all the I will not include all the attributes for this particular entity. This is just for an example sake. So let's say then I want the first attribute to be MRN, which is basically the primary key, and then first name. And I need to add another member or another attribute. I'll just drag it and then double click again, and then I'll just say middle initial, another member, drag and drop, last name, and so on. So this is one entity that we have. So let's create another one. I will just call it here address. And then for the address, let's say that I will assume that there is an address ID, and then street number. Another one can be MRN, because based on the relationship reading, so we can say every patient will have many addresses, at least one or many addresses, and every address belongs to one and only one patient. Is that right? So this is how we will read it. To connect them, I will just go here and to the menu on the top and select the connector above in the tools area, and then I will select or connect the MRN, or so I'll use that. So now I'll just go back and click on pointer tool to get rid of the connector. Now this is what I have. There are several options that you can do. One option is to just right click and click on show multiplicity, and then you wanna you can just put, as we did last time, so delete one of those, maybe M2. I don't need it. Just double click on this guy, delete M2. Anyway, in any format and any way that you can show the multiplicity or the cardinalities and modalities. So this is, I have 1-to-1, and then in this case I'll just delete that guy, and then I will put 1, 3 dots, or 3 periods, and then the midi. So now you can see that I have been able to create the relationship between those two, and then I can add text just to read here. Maybe I can just say the terminology for the relationship is has. So I can say that every patient has several addresses, and every address is owned by one and only one patient. So this is kind of the one option. The other option is to use going back to software and then use the cross-foot database notation. So I'll just create them, and in this case here we call it entity. This might make it easier. So I'll just call it a patient demo, just this for illustration. This one looks nicer because it gives you also kind of the primary key. So what is the attribute for the primary key here is MRN, and then first name and so on. And then the same thing I will do for address. I'll just call it address ID, and then I'll just put here MRN because that would be my foreign key for the relationship between those two guys. Then the same connector that we can use. So you can do that, and go back to pointer tool. And now you can see here we have the cross-foot, but they are not correct yet. So we have to fix them by right click on this line and then go to begin, set begin symbol. So we want the begin symbol to be 1 and only 1. So that's, as you can see here, that's exactly what it did, what I wanted to do. And then I want it to end with, so end with 1 or many, so 1 or more. So this is what I got. I hope this helps, and I will see you tomorrow.